Alright, this is my Raptors offseason preview. A lot of stuff happened already. But Masai got to make moves. You know, he said keep your phones close to ya. The draft is tomorrow. So we'll see what happens. So let's go over our season. The Raptors finished 41-41. A mid-season, lost to the Chicago Bulls in the play-in round because of DeMar's daughter and them not being able to shoot fucking free throws. And then they fired Nick Nurse, which was the right move because, you know, last few years he's been not really a good coach sometimes, you know, with the bench and stuff. And the ISO ball stuff, not really having a good creative offense to score. Like, the offense was really the issue. But, you know, Nick Nurse wasn't given the best players on the bench. So, like, he killed the fucking offense he killed the starters these past couple years because Masai Ujiri didn't give him a fucking bench. Masai Ujiri was he didn't give any. We don't have any veterans on the bench. We have a bunch of losers on the bench, especially at guard. But, yeah, so that was that. And then we hired a head coach, Darko Rajakovic, from the Grizzlies. First impressions, I like him. You know, he's going to be a developed coach, helping develop younger players, which Scotty Barnes, that's it, really. It's our younger players that have potential and shown potential. The rest are slim fucking pickings, really. You know, Scotty Barnes has shown potential, one rookie of the year, obviously. The rest, what young players do we have? You don't say Anunoby because he's almost 25. Not really a young player, so. And then we hired a couple guys, assistant coaches, Jama Momalea and Washington Wizards assistant Pat Delaney, who used to be on the Heat as a video coordinator, I think, and then Jama Mamalea. It's funny. Even when he was with the Raptors, he wasn't with the Raptors, like on the coaching staff, and then he went to the G League, and then he got signed by the Warriors. It won a ring there, so yeah, so that was really cool. Get him back and add Pat Delaney. So the staff is looking pretty good. You know, I got to give this guy a chance, and the fans have to give him a chance because this is his first. This is his first season as a head coach, and no matter what happens this season, you gotta give him a break really because of the roster he's dealt with, depending on what happens with the off season. So yeah. So let's get to it. These are the free agents. I don't know what the hell this is. Alright, so Fred VanVleet is a free agent. He wants $30 million a year. We're not giving him that. We'll give him that in a sign trade, hopefully. Fred VanVleet, love him. All time, was an all-star, undrafted, NBA champion, helped us win a championship. But he's just, you know, a little overrated. And, you know, just wasn't that good last year. One of the worst shooting percentages in the league, I think. Field goal percentage or whatever. And just, he didn't live up, you know, to what he was last year compared to his all-star season. And he let the team down really a lot. And wasn't there in the big moments. And I think whoever pays him, he's not gonna be, you know, as under pressure because usually I think a competitive team wants him. We'll see. A team that needs a shooting guard because he's not a point guard. He's a shooting guard really, even though it says point guard here. After Lowry left, he became the point guard and he didn't do shit. So, as the point guard. So, yeah, I think hopefully we can get a sign trade with whatever team So, and get a young player in a pick back, a second round pick probably. Will Barton, who cares? I don't want him back. Yakapurtle, this is the dilemma that Masai Ujiri's put us in. Yakapurtle wants to be part of a competitive team, but the team is not built to be competitive right now. They're not built to be competitive. Masai Ujiri's built a team that can't fucking shoot. And you have to be able to shoot in this league. And a team that has no bench scoring, you need some bench scoring in the regular season to win games in this league. And you can't rely on your 5 guys or else they'll be fucking hurt. You know, like OG Anunoby, we'll get to that. So, and then we trade away our first round pick for next year for Yakapurtle, who is a pending UFA. He didn't have years on his deal. If he had years on the deal, who gives a shit? He's back or whatever. But he's a pending UFA. I want to keep him because we need him as a center. You know, what we're gonna have? Christian Coloco starting, and then fucking Precious and Boucher, that bullshit again with center. No, we need Yakapurtle. He gets you fucking boards. Yeah, he's not a good free throw shooter. Yeah, he doesn't shoot at all, but he gets you boards and he gets you buckets in the fucking paint. So I want to bring back Yakapurtle, but he wants to be part of a competitive team, so that's a dilemma that Masai Ujiri put you through. Do you benefit the team? Do you hurt the team by bringing back Yakapurtle because you want to be competitive, or you help the team by rebuilding, but you lose your fucking pride and your manhood by letting Yakapurtle walk? So Masai Ujiri is just he's in a rock and a hard place, wherever the hell it is. So he put him through that. Like, he put himself through that. Like, it's his fault. Delano Benson, I wouldn't bring him back. They're probably gonna bring him back. Ron Harper Jr., I wouldn't bring him back. He's a G Leaguer for life. Jeff Dowden, I'll bring him back. You know, played a little bit in the bigs. Didn't do that much, but he's a fringe bench guy. He would be cheap. We need some depth on the guards. So yeah. Now let's go over this roster. Let's go stats because the depth chart doesn't matter. All right. I thought the depth chart would matter. Let's go player by player and see if they should leave or get released or whatever. So Pascal Siakam, I want him traded because he has 1 year left on his contract, and we need to get as much value for him as possible. If he stays, I'm gonna fucking root for this guy to go off so we can trade him at the deadline for a lot. If he leaves and we get some good value from him, I'm gonna root for him no matter what, unless it's fucking Boston, which he's not going to Boston, or Philly, which he's not going to Philly because he hates Nick Nurse, apparently, allegedly. So yeah, Pascal Siakam, I love him, but it's time to move on. He's a good player. He'll help a contending team win, hopefully in the future. Fred VanVleet, he's gone. Free agency. Hopefully we can get a sign trade going. Watch him go to Philly. That'll be funny. That'll be funny because, you know, Nick Nurse loves him. He was Nick Nurse's boy. Never blamed him for anything. Gary Trent Jr., he opted into his contract. $18.5 million. He's staying. This is the only guy who's staying, top 3 guys. Probably guaranteed. And hopefully we can trade him at the deadline for something. Or give him an extension. This is the only option. I wouldn't let him walk. OG Anunoby, we need to trade him. He gets injured a lot. Last year he led the league in steals, I think. Yeah. 6 points. Wait, how many rebounds do you have? What, 6.6 rebounds? No, 5 rebounds. I don't know. I was looking at Scotty's numbers. 2 assists. You gotta get those assist numbers up. And 1.9 steals, which is really good. Led the league in steals. One of the top steals leaders. But he's a good 2-way player. 67 games played. He always gets hurt. He didn't really progress that much. And apparently Indiana and the Mavericks, it was a rumored like proposed deal, whatever the hell, package deal, and I hope that happens. If we trade OG Anunoby, we gotta trade one of them. If we trade OG Anunoby and keep Siakam for this season, then I'm fine. Or trade Siakam and keep Anunoby, I'm fine. We gotta trade one of them just to get value from. I think OG has a longer term contract, like a couple years on his contract, so maybe he'll get more. I don't fucking know. But yeah, you gotta get rid of OG. Siakam, Scotty Barnes is our future. He averaged 15.3, 6.6 rebounds, 4.8 assists last year. A little down year, didn't really progress as much. But I think he'll play better. I think he'll average 18 next year, average more in assists and rebounds because I think he'll be playing point guard. I think he's done with small forward. If you want to win, with this team somehow in the future, you gotta put him at point guard. I think he'll be a good point guard. Jakob Poeltl, you gotta try to re-sign him. Yeah, Jakob Poeltl, you gotta try to bring him back. Played really good with the Raptors. But again, those reports are like he wants to be part of a contending team. That's a dilemma that Masai Ujiri put him through. Chris Boucher, I think he'll play better. I think he'll average 10 next year and play better overall. I think he came back from that wrist injury. Didn't have a good season. I think he'll have a rebound season even if we suck. I don't think it'll be as good as 2020, 2021 seasons, but I think he'll have a really good bounce back season and contribute off the bench because there's a lot. He works really hard. I like Chris Boucher. A lot of people were hard on him last year. We got him for another couple of years, so happy he's back. Precious Achiuwa. He needs to play better too. There's a lot of potential, but he needs to finish on the rim more. He needs to finish on the rim more, and develop his shooting a little bit more as well. Sometimes sometimes he's fucking chucking threes and making them like it's nothing, like you Steph Curry, and other times he's just bricking them. And the layups, man, sometimes he misses layups and pisses me off a lot, like open layups. But again, these are two forwards, power forwards off the bench. That's what it was. Otto Porter Jr., 8 games played. He only played 8 games, started 2 last year. Otto Porter Jr. did nothing last year, and I knew he was going to get hurt, and I knew he was going to opt in. What a fucking... I hope we get rid of him, man. He's our, backup small forward right now. I think we can't get rid of him. Because, around the league, they're like... His value is negative, and they think he's going to get hurt. We can't even... We have to, attach a pick to get rid of him, which he's on a 1-year deal, so... I wouldn't do that. Malachi Flynn is terrible. I don't want... He's terrible. Nick Nurse hated him. Undersized guard. When we drafted him, I didn't like him. I don't care if he was Defensive Player of the Year for, was it the Mountain Conference or whatever with San Diego. Wasn't that good. Banton, again, was uncoordinated. Wasn't that good. These are our guards. Will Barton, terrible. Wasn't that good. He didn't add a spark that we signed him to. Before the end of the season, we signed him, and then he didn't add any spark off the bench. Thaddeus Young needs to be fucking... He needs to go. He needs to go. He did nothing. The year we traded for him, he added a lot for the bench, and then we picked up, signed him to a deal, and he did jack shit. He's on 1 more year. Yeah, he's on 1 more year. We can get rid of him, hopefully. Release him or something, hopefully. Buy him out. Christian Coloco, a little bit of potential to be our backup center this year. Maybe starting center if fucking Poeltl fucks off because we want to rebuild. Yeah, so Christian Coloco, he'll be our backup center probably. Wancho's not on the team. Jeff Downton, again, he's a free agent, but RFA, I would bring him back. Ron Harper, like he'll probably be on the front. I don't know why it's labeled forward and then free agency is a guard. I don't get it. So Ron Harper probably will bring him back. Ken Birch, he's gone. Champagne's gone. Joe Wieskamp, I would bring him back. So yeah, that's the roster. Pretty pathetic, pretty pitiful. Not that many experienced veterans, and yeah, this is a very very bad roster you got there. As for the draft, it's tomorrow, Thursday. These are Keontae George. I wouldn't mind. Baylor, heard he's really good. Same with Nick Smith. Um, Jeff Howard, Michigan. It wasn't he? Yeah, I think he's the son of the coach there. Um, Grady Dick from Kansas. He's a point guard, right? I think he's a point guard. Scoot Henderson, like, if we trade Siakam for Scoot Henderson, like, trade up for the Blazers pick, that would be cool. Anthony Black, Arkansas. Grady Dick. They have to get a guard. Cause I showed you the roster. The forwards, even Otto Porter next year could have a little bounce back season. Same with Boucher and Achua, but the guards, again, the guard depth on this team is just nah. And the shooting is we have no spot up shooters on this team. It's just it's a mess that this man put us through. So yeah, for the Raptors, we'll probably draft a guard. Hopefully release Thaddeus Young, and then we'll probably sign a veteran off the bench, maybe another small forward. But I would give Joe Wieskamp a shot. I would give our younger players a shot. Like, if Darko needs to give our younger players a shot, even if they're shit, then they're shit. If they're good and you can find hidden potential out of like Joe Wieskamp or Jeff Dowden or other guys, then why not? And obviously, free agency, I don't expect any big moves because it's Toronto. We know the market. We're dealt. If we were a good team, we would probably get like a mediocre player. If now we're a bad team, what are we gonna get? Like, come on. So yeah, that's my offseason preview. Hopefully the Raptors have a nice younger team next year. They trade Siakam or Anunoby. Fred needs to walk. I don't want to run it back, or else we'll run in the ground. Like, if you run it back, then what was the point of firing Nick Nurse? Like that, it's the same thing with the Leafs. I'll get to that later. I'll talk about the Leafs probably near the draft there. I'll probably talk about the Leafs near the draft. But what was the point of firing Nick Nurse if you're going to run it back? If you're not a contending team, you fire. All right, if you're a contending team, if you're a contending team and you fire your coach, that means you think that coach couldn't get you over the hump. So this other coach could get you over the hump. If you're a bad team like the Raptors and you're trying to run it back with the same core, what was the point of firing the head coach? Just to make a culture change and get better. No, you're bad. Your roster's bad. You have no guards, no shooting, no depth. If your one star gets hurt, you're fucked. That's the roster. So we'll see what happens. I'm praying that this man makes the right move and that the Raptors have a good draft. Hopefully get Keontae George. I wouldn't mind. Nick Smith, Grady Dick. Why not? I like Keontae George. Looking at his highlights, and like, Baylor's a really good school, and he's 6'4", so he's not a midget like Malachi. And you put him on the bench. You start. You start Gary at shooting guard, and you can put Keontae George on the bench. He can develop. He'll get the rock a lot on the bench because no one else can shoot. So he'll be our primary shooter on the bench. He can develop, and maybe he'll become a starter next year, and then you can play him a little bit with Scotty next year, maybe. If there's injuries or you need to change up the lineup sometimes. So yeah, that's it. That's my preview. Comment down below what you think the Raptors are gonna do. I think all these stupid rumors are not gonna happen. I don't think we're gonna make any trades. Um, NBA and mainly the Raptors. These rumors are BS. Only the real teams make moves. Raptors don't make moves. They're gonna run it back, aren't they? And they're gonna disappoint us. So that's my preview. That's it. Peace.